Alright, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Today we have another fan fiction for you. And I hope you'll enjoy. So, without further ado, how about we read the description? After years of bullying, hold on. After years of bullying and neglect by her own peers, Wallflower Blush asks her friend, Sunset Shimmer, to sit down at the library for a little talk. Rated M for mature. Rated M and tagged for obvious reasons. No crying if you didn't read the tags. Thanks. Proofreading done by Regidar. That name sounds familiar. Wallflower and her pumped up kicks. Written by Hold on. Written by BootyPopperzZz. That's Booty Popper with 3 Z's. Oh, one word. Chapter 1. Off the chest. Wallflower stood up suddenly, while the look of confusion on Sunset's face turned to complete horror. In one fluid motion, she whipped the right part of her coat backwards and pulled her shotgun out of her pants. Bringing it up quickly, she aimed right at Sunset's head and pulled the trigger. The sound of a 12-gauge ripped through the library, while the buckshot ripped through Sunset's face. Blood and brain matter flew everywhere over Wallflower and the wall behind Sunset. The gun kicked up high, almost hitting herself in the face, but it didn't faze her in the slightest. Pure hatred for her former friend raged in her mind as she held a death glare at the remains of Sunset's head. Golly! Time seemed to move slow as she just started, until someone started screaming. She whipped her head towards the source and locked eyes with the librarian. Golly, without having a second thought, Wallflower pulled the trigger again, and the deafening sound blashed throughout the library once again. The librarian fell almost immediately. Golly, blood oozing from the new holes in her body. Golly, the rush from killing 2 people already was almost orgasmic to Wallflower. Discarding the double barrel for the moment, she pulled out her pink high point and slammed a magazine in filled with 9mm. As people figured out what was going on, they screamed and filed out the various exits around them. Wallflower took aim at the closest one and started firing. Holy she-does! Several people fell while the rest kept on running. In less than 30 seconds, the whole library was empty, besides what was left of Sunset Shimmer, the librarian, and Wallflower herself. The students shot in the back while trying to escape, laid in the hallway, bleeding out and attempting to crawl to safety. Wallflower calmly reloaded both guns and made her way over to the crawling students. No, Wallflower, no! She didn't pay any attention to their cries. No! And pleas for mercy as she executed each one. Wallflower sighed as she once again reloaded her high points. She gave the bodies of her most recent victims a quick, blank stare before she started walking down the hallway towards the classrooms. No, Wallflower, not towards the classrooms! An alarm had started sounding, signaling to the teachers and students that there was an active shooter on the property, but she paid it little mind. Undoubtedly, the police would already be on their way, but she had plenty of time. She didn't plan on getting off this campus alive anyways. No! As she casually walked down the halls, she shot at any stragglers that happened to try to get away from the building instead of hiding in the rooms. There weren't nearly as many people as there should have been, as all but the seniors were gone for the day. She was making her way towards the gymnasium and the locker room within it, where she had extra stored ammo for her rampage. Golly, she wasn't in any particular hurry. She had packed plenty in her backpack and pockets in case she never made it to the locker room. Stopping at a door to one of the English rooms, she checked the door. Locked. She growled to herself. No matter, she thought. She leveled the shotgun at the doorknob and pulled the trigger, shattering the lock and part of the door. She replaced the spent shell while kicking the door open. She scanned the room. There was very little students in the room, and no sign of the teacher. The students instantly started crying in fear and pleaded with her, saying her name once they recognized who she was. She ignored them, leveling the shotgun with the group huddled against the wall. She pulled the trigger. Golly! Buckshot tore through multiple students, and screams and crying intensified. She pulled the trigger again. More blood sprayed out, and even more crying resounded. Without a second glance at the ones she probably missed, she walked out of the room and proceeded to head towards the next room. She pulled 2 more shells out of her pocket and pushed them into the shotgun. Her mind was completely blank. She was mechanical now. Suddenly, the door to her left burst open as a squad of cops pulled their guns on her. Bang, 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 bang. Exactly 7 rounds. Was that 7? At Wallflower. As soon as she spun to her left, the bullets from the Glocks of the cops tore through her unarmored body as she slowly became Swiss cheese. She was dead before she hit the floor. Her rampage ended a mere 10 minutes after it started. The police slowly came up to her body, almost unrecognizable by anyone who knew her, as 2 of the bullets had ripped into her face. Golly! One officer remained by the body, while the rest searched the building, evacuating anyone still inside hiding. Their faces and demeanor became more and more grim as they searched the building, witnessing the devastating results of Wallflower's massacre. Life couldn't return to normal soon enough after Wallflower's rampage. Not much was known about her motives at first, due to one of her only friends being dead by her own hands. She left nothing to hint at why she would do such a thing, and only a single note was left by her that led the police towards nothing. Scribbled on a simple sticky note and left in her locker, Wallflower had written, "I'm gonna make Columbine look like a fucking joke, Lamau." No one really knew what this meant. The word Columbine came up nowhere in the police search or by other people's personal investigation. It was completely disregarded, and instead they focused more on the rest of the note, which didn't lead them any more forward than before, with the only evidence of what happened being in the form of a note that confused everyone. She was soon forgotten about, and the people who died were memorialized by a fountain built by the remaining students in the back of the school. The students were remembered for their joyous selves, and no one cared or remembered the scum that took them away from the world, the way it should be. The end. Wow. So, thanks for listening. That's number 1. Number 2, what? What the heck? So, just because, I'm not saying I agree with everything that happened here in this story, but what? Like, why would you not? I'm just at a loss for words, okay? So, yeah, once again, this was written by BootyPopperzZz. So I'm hoping that this was written as like something, a little Easter egg. I recorded this a while ago, like a couple months ago, but I stopped recording because I thought the story was too long. But it turns out I stopped just before the ending of the story. So this story would have actually been out months ago. Can you believe that? That's so crazy. Anyways, BootyPopperzZz, golly. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed. All these stories are obtained from Fanfiction.net. So if you want to look for some stories, how old is this story? This story was written July 16th, 2018. Golly, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Golly, 4 years old. Golly. Well, that's it, y'all. Remember to show some love. Write a comment. I don't know. Like the video. Yeah, spear that like button. Spear that like button. And we're gone.